The Untold Truth About Sleep That Will Transform Your Life. Why We Sleep by Matthew Walker. Sleep. It's the one thing we all do, and yet the one thing most of us don't fully understand. In Matthew Walker's groundbreaking book Why We Sleep, the science of sleep is uncovered in a way that shatters old myths and forces us to re-examine how we live our lives. What if everything you thought about productivity, health, and even your own intelligence was tied directly to the hours you spend, or don't spend, resting at night? That's what this book reveals. The journey begins with the basic truth: sleep is not a luxury, it is a biological necessity. Every single species on Earth sleeps, and those that don't, die. Walker shows us how evolution has designed sleep as a non-negotiable process that repairs, recharges, and reorganizes both the body and the mind. Skipping sleep isn't just losing rest, it's cutting years off your life. Imagine an invisible hand guiding every decision, every mood, every memory you have. That's sleep. When you lose it, your entire world shifts. One of the most profound realizations is how deeply sleep influences learning and memory. When you learn something new, your brain doesn't simply hold it, it strengthens those connections during sleep. Sleep acts like a file-saving process, moving short-term knowledge into long-term storage. Without sleep, knowledge decays, memory falters, and creativity dries up. That's why students pulling all-nighters often remember less than those who slept well before an exam. Productivity isn't measured by hours spent awake but by how refreshed your brain is when it faces challenges. But it doesn't stop at memory. Sleep is the foundation of emotional balance. When you sleep poorly, the amygdala, the brain's fear and stress center, fires uncontrollably. This is why you feel irritable, anxious, or even depressed after restless nights. On the other hand, a good night's sleep acts like emotional first aid, giving you stability, resilience, and the ability to manage stress. Without it, arguments become bigger, small frustrations feel unbearable, and your sense of hope weakens. Walker shows us how sleep is not just physical recovery, it's emotional healing. The book also highlights the shocking connection between sleep and long-term health. Lack of sleep is linked to heart disease, stroke, cancer, Alzheimer's, and a weakened immune system. Even one night of sleep deprivation can reduce your natural killer cells, your body's frontline defense against disease, by as much as 70%. Sleep deprivation is not simply tiredness, it is a slow form of self-harm that chips away at your future. And yet, society glamorizes hustle culture, burning the midnight oil, and sacrificing rest for success. But Walker proves that true achievement doesn't come from sleepless nights. It comes from a well-rested mind and body ready to perform at its peak. Dreaming is another mystery Walker explores with depth and fascination. Dreams are not random, they serve a critical purpose. They help us process emotions, solve problems, and even inspire creativity. Some of the world's greatest innovations, from scientific breakthroughs to artistic masterpieces, were born in dreams. Sleep is not an escape from reality, it is a secret workshop where our subconscious crafts solutions and visions that our waking minds could never reach. Throughout the book, Walker also dismantles dangerous myths. He shows us why caffeine, alcohol, and sleeping pills are not the solutions we think they are. Caffeine lingers in the body far longer than we realize, disrupting deep sleep cycles. Alcohol, though it might make us fall asleep faster, robs us of REM sleep, the very stage critical for memory and emotional processing. And sleeping pills, rather than giving us natural rest, only sedate the brain, providing a poor imitation of the healing power of true sleep. The modern world, filled with screens, stress, and stimulants, has pushed us into a sleep crisis, and this book calls us to take back control. Imagine a society where schools started later to match children's natural sleep rhythms, where workplaces valued rest as much as deadlines, and where medical science prioritized sleep in the prevention of disease. Walker paints this vision not as fantasy but as possibility, if we choose to respect sleep as much as food, water, and air. Sleep is not wasted time, it is the foundation upon which every waking hour is built. For 2 hours, we could go on and on unraveling each detail from why we sleep. Every page of this book reminds us that sleep is the most powerful, freely available medicine in the world. The lesson is clear: sleep is life. To deny it is to deny yourself health, happiness, and the chance to truly thrive. So as you reflect on your own habits, ask yourself: are you treating sleep as expendable, or are you ready to embrace it as your hidden superpower? Because once you do, you'll discover energy, creativity, focus, and joy that you never knew were possible. Don't just read this book, live it. Respect your sleep, protect your dreams, and unlock the best version of yourself.